Hey, hey, Meg Berry here, singer, songwriter, producer, functional strength expert, and regenerative fitness geek, here for day 6 of our 12 days of confidence. Woohoo! I am so excited. In part because today is the very last day until we get to day 12, where I'm going to do a review. You ready? Feel free to sing along with me at home. I'm a singer-songwriter producer who was rocketing off to make her rock star dreams come true, and I went splat against the imposter syndrome wall, which I didn't even know existed then. Um, Lucky for me, I landed at Harvard. I was able to study all sorts of ancient philosophy and modern science, and then I left and became a wellness professional and cobbled together my own methods that not only helped me to break through my blocks and build up my resiliency in the face of success stress, but I realized I had a talent for helping my clients do the same. I had a great studio. I was very happy. I wrote over 50 songs in the background, wrote an alt country musical, got a lot of love and a lot of support here in New York. And then COVID happened. And like so many people, I had clients who were very vulnerable, moms with newborn babies, people with immune conditions, and I shut down my studio until we had more of an understanding about what was going on. I was sick and tired of feeling cut off from being able to make people's day brighter. I was sick and tired of not being able to have a sense of just making people feel like no matter what they were facing, no matter what was going on, they could do it. And Paul Loggins in Nashville had heard a couple of my songs and had given me incredible feedback. And finally, I was like, okay, fine. Let's see what happens on radio. Let's see if I can believe that, Mr. Loggins. And guess what? I could believe that, Mr. Loggins. So here we are 1 year later. And not only is it incredible that my songs have done so well, 2 number ones over the course of a year, and out of 4 songs, all 4 in the top 10, and 3 of them, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3 of them in the top 3. That's amazing. But you know what's even more amazing to me is that I didn't turn on one heel and run from radio. I'm going to be honest. I almost did multiple times, but I didn't. I stayed, and it's been an incredible, life-changing year. And I promised myself, as a part of saying thank you, that I would hop on here as soon as I had the bandwidth and share some of these tools with you that helped me go to the next level in my career, because anything worth having is worth sharing. And so here we are, day 6 of 12 days of confidence. I shared with you the revolutionary idea that changed my world in and of itself, that confidence is not something that's given. You can use it up, but it's not something that's taken. It's something that you create. It's not something you're born with or you're not born with, which is kind of what I thought. It's something that you create. And my working definition of confidence, and I've seen a lot of results, my working definition of confidence is connection, specifically your mind-body connection, okay? And we talked not only about what confidence is, right? You create it by bringing your mind together with your body, and you can turn that confidence dial up once you know how to, anytime you want to. But we also talked about what confidence is not, right? Confidence is not out here. Confidence is in here. It's very normal to bring our focus out there and kind of get distracted and forget. And so it's up to us to practice bringing our mind into our body. And of course, I'm going to give you some ways of doing that, so that you notice when your focus has gone out there and you're looking for your confidence out there, and you can just always turn around and look for it in here by bringing your mind into your body. I remember when I was a teen, I learned how to windsurf, and the very first thing they do when they teach you how to windsurf is they teach you how to turn around, which I think is so smart, right? So maybe I'll try to figure out a way to put that turning around in there, right? Don't worry that you realize you're trying to take your confidence from looking outside of you, just turn around and take your confidence back from inside of you. So we talked about how confidence is not numbness. And in fact, the very first step in my 3-step approach to creating confidence is awareness. Well, that sounds simple. It's certainly powerful. It can be a little complicated though, right? Because our minds use numbing to stave off overwhelm, to keep our minds from becoming overwhelmed, right? And that kind of challenges or makes the mind-body connection a little weaker, a little smaller, right? And so what you want is to be aware. What you want is to be unnumb. But Sam Isadora, my Tantra mentor, used to say anything can be medicine or poison, right? Awareness, too much, too quickly, can be medicine. It can be poison too, right? Unnumbing, too much, too quickly, can be medicine, but it can be poison, because when you get overwhelmed, you overwhelm your confidence, you undermine your confidence. So there's a bit of a competing need there, because the first step to creating confidence is awareness, but you also want to respect your mind and your body's process of trying to manage that awareness so that it's not too much, too fast, and that overwhelm doesn't undermine your creating your confidence. All right. Step 1 is awareness. Step 2 is taking action, taking aware action specifically, not reactionary action, but aware action. Step 1, awareness. Step 2, taking aware action. And in these beginning stages, I really asked you to do the smaller the action, the better. And I know that sounds really strange, but it's true. The smaller the aware action, the better, right? Please don't realize that you need to create confidence and then go sign a contract or engage in a hugely deep conversation or sit down to a big meal. You want to have the awareness, and then you want to take that awareness into aware action, and the smaller the better. My personal favorite is to sit down and stand up. You can take your hat off. You can run your fingers through your hair. You can find a hat and put it on. You can play with your jewelry. You can put on some jewelry. The smaller, the better. Okay. The third in your 3 chords in the truth, right? The third piece is, oh boy, what did I do with my hat? The third piece is, yay me. The third piece is to celebrate yourself. Yes, I did that on purpose. The third piece is to have the awareness, take an aware action, the smaller the better in the beginning. And then the third step is to acknowledge your action and ideally to celebrate your action. Kind of sounds a little bit familiar to what I asked you to do a couple of days ago, which is every time you have a feeling, a reaction to what I'm saying to you or what this process is bringing out in you, to please, please, please do only one thing, and that is to stop and say, yay me. Thank you, me, for having that feeling. Thank you, me, for showing up to this process. I'm so proud of myself for having that feeling. Even if it feels a little bizarre to be praising yourself for being jealous, right? This is what I was talking about. You see, we've spent the last 5 days, and now today, number 6, building awareness, okay? And I actually have been asking you to take action. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Not a life, you're not signing a contract, okay? You're not engaging in a huge discussion. You're simply subscribing or following me on social media. So we've been raising awareness for 6 days. I've been asking you to take action. And then interweaving in there, I've been asking you to take moments to either consciously praise yourself or reward yourself without necessarily knowing that that's what you're doing. Dancing it out. That is sending a reward to your whole being, saying, yay me, right? By dancing it out. So I'm telling you about it now, but we've actually been practicing this for 6 days. And what you want to do is rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And there is no such thing as taking too small of an action step or celebrating yourself too much. And let me tell you why. And I have used these 3 steps to dig myself out of some very deep, very, very dark holes. Very dark. Okay. And as I said before, nothing I share with you is ever, ever a substitute for medical attention. Ever. If you know me, if you've ever worked with me, you know that I always insist that we work with doctors. And we have the biggest breakthroughs and the biggest success when we're working together with doctors. The same thing is true here. But I have used these 3 steps to really pull myself out of some very deep holes, and I'm very proud that I did, and I'm very proud to share it with you now. And all I can say is there is no action step too small. And just like I said before, there is no celebration of yourself too big. Because what happens is you have the awareness that something is, that your mind is not connected to your body, that you're not confident, that you need that connection, which usually involves some unnumbing. But you can see that if you have the awareness that you need that connection, chances are unnumbing is happening already, right? So you can work with that unnumbing to manage it when you have the awareness, okay? And then you take an action. Doesn't matter what kind of action, as long as it is an aware action, not an acting out action. And in these beginning stages, the smaller the better. Awareness, aware action, and then you praise yourself. You acknowledge the action. I am so proud of myself. I just realized that I have a pit in my stomach because I'm so angry at myself for letting go of my dream of writing a memoir. And so I sat down and I stood up. I did something to acknowledge that feeling. I took it from here and I put it in here. And I'm going to keep doing something, but for now, I'm so proud of myself that I acknowledged it and I did something. Okay? What happens anytime you set a goal, and your goal is that I'm going to do something as soon as I have that awareness. Anytime you set a goal and you acknowledge that you accomplish that goal, it sends serotonin and dopamine into your brain, which feel good. Guess what else they feel like? Confidence. Okay? That's how you fill up your tank. And then you have and that gives you the resiliency, that gives you the reward to have a new awareness or to stay aware. And guess what you do? You do something else. And then you say, I am so proud of myself. I promised myself that I would do something when I had that awareness, and I did something, right? I promised myself that I would take this thought about not feeling confident and embody it proactively, right? Not by punching the wall. That is not an aware action. Okay? By doing something productive and raising your arms or sitting down. I will get into it tomorrow, I promise, but they are both very productive things for confidence building. Okay? You've got to acknowledge it. This 3rd step is probably the most important of all 3. You can have an awareness, you can take action. If you don't acknowledge it, you will not be refilling that tank and you will not be creating the confidence. Yeah? Do you see it? Awareness, I said before, may be the hardest step. Okay? Taking action, well, it may be the newest step. Taking action right away from that awareness. Acknowledging that you took action from that awareness, it is the most important step of all 3, because if you do not take that 3rd step, you will not acknowledge the completion of a task that you set for yourself, and you will not trigger the release of serotonin and dopamine. and you will not be rewarding yourself with confidence. It will really undermine the process of having further awareness. In fact, you'll probably start to get overwhelmed and shut down. So, step number 3, the most important step. Reward yourself, praise yourself, acknowledge yourself for setting the intention that anytime I have an awareness that I need to create confidence, I will do something with that awareness, right? Aware action. And then acknowledge that you did it. Now, tomorrow I'll give you some tools about what to do, and I will tell you why those are confidence building things to do. It also means that I'm not going to review everything we've done in day 1 through 6. But remember what I said. I want you to remove any expectation that you're going to take in all the goodies that I've already thrown at you just from one listen. You're going to go back and you're going to listen to these videos over and over again. Ideally, while you're doing other things, sorting the mail, making your kids lunch, doing the dishes, taking the dog for a walk, and just notice if you hear things in a new way or if you take in new things. But take the pressure off of getting it all from one listen. Go back and listen and multitask. And please continue to praise yourself. If something causes a reaction, you get offended, you get frustrated, you get scared, you think you can't do it, if you can, just pause and say, wow, good for you for showing up to have such a strong feeling. I'm really proud of you. And practice these three steps. Awareness, aware action, the smaller the better. Acknowledge that aware action. Celebrate that aware action. Okay? And now, happy dancing it out. Go have that dance party. Find one of my playlists on Spotify. Follow me on Spotify. Thank you very much. Follow me on social media because I'm going to start sharing some of the media articles that I've been written up in as a coach once upon a time. And I will see you tomorrow.